You know, about 2.5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, me, Chris Knight, Onzo, Biggaford Entertainment, we all came together. 3 different cats, one vision to make Khaos Central the best YouTube channel on the planet. Here's one of our stories. Oh yeah, let's go.
Is there any stuff?
Khaotic Conversation is the name of the show. The first Monday of the month is the time that I go on here and bring you the heat. I got your bob in your head. You're gonna hear it repeat and be like, hey yo, is that Danny? He's an X-Man now, cause the flow is uncanny. No, I'm just a topic debater. I'm just an intro maker. Ain't no one greater. It's Monday night. It's 9 o'clock. Sit back, relax. It's gonna get hot. So, without further ado, the conversation is ready. Let's make it do what it do. Peace. Khaos Central is the channel. Khaotic Conversation is the show. Come catch me, comment chat, Chris Knight, and Onzo. Peace.
What up, what up, what up, what up? As you can see, it is not Monday night. It is Tuesday night. You know that thing called life? It happened last night, so we was not able to do the show. But we're back here live and in living color. Usually we had the 4-headed monster, but one of the monster heads ain't feeling too good tonight, so we're going to go ahead and rock and roll with the 3-headed monster, that being myself, comment chat, Mr. Chris Knight, and Mr. Guyscar. How y'all fellas doing?
Doing pretty good,
man.
Good.
Tired as fuck, but we're here.
You do know the expos are no longer in existence, right?
You
Actually, they are, but they're
sometimes looking ass.
You do know I couldn't name, I don't think 10 baseball teams if I had to.
Angels, Pirates, Royals, Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Nationals, Mariners, Houston, or the Astros, Rangers.
I'll put the cookie in the mail tomorrow. I couldn't name them though. Don't even like.
Yeah, there's a documentary coming out on the Expos on Netflix, actually.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't think baseball is gonna be America's pastime because it looks like the Dominicans and Japanese are coming in pretty strong now, buddy.
Football.
Who?
Football.
And the Dominican players and the
in baseball
players. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Japanese players have been.
I know the NBA ain't too careful. It ain't gonna be
yeah.
American players taking on right now. The top 3 or 4 are overseas players, so they better watch it. But anyway, thank you all for coming in here today. We got Danny Land in the chat. We appreciate it as always. We got DQ in the chat. We definitely appreciate it.
All day, every day.
It seems like we got 5 people watching, so we definitely appreciate that. We are doing simultaneously on my channel and on Khaos Central only because I'm trying to get more people to come in. So we got 4 different topics. I hope will stimulate some conversation. A couple of them happened today, and the first one we're going to talk about. Let me see. Let me get the sharing thing going here.
I've been off my phone mostly all day because of work. So
we're going to talk about Dakota Johnson. And she is really upset about the lack of enthusiasm for Madam Web. And it says in this article, which just came out today, Dakota Johnson understands, reacts to Madam Web's negative response. Dakota Johnson has heard the various criticisms and negative reactions to Sonny's Madam Web, and she understands a lot of it. Speaking to Variety, Johnson said that she was not surprised about the negative reaction to the movie, which was critically panned after its release. According to Johnson, a litany of decisions led to it, and she now knows she probably won't star in anything like that again. But it was definitely an experience for me to make the movie, Johnson said. I have never done anything like that before. I probably would never do anything like that again because I don't make sense in that world. And I know that now. But sometimes in this industry, you sign on to do something and is one thing, and then as you're making it, it becomes completely different. It becomes a completely different thing, and you're like, wait, what? But it was a real learning experience, and of course, it's not nice to be part of something that's ripped to shreds. But I can't say that I don't understand. Johnson points to decisions made by committees as a worrying aspect. Elsewhere in the talk, Johnson also pointed to the fact that on any scale nowadays, film decisions are being made by committees, which make it hard to actually make art. It's so hard to get movies made, and then the big movies that get made, and even it's starting to happen with the little ones, which is what's really freaking me out. Decisions are made by committees, and art does not do well when it's made by a committee, said Johnson. Films are made by a filmmaker and a team of artists around them. You cannot make an art based on numbers and algorithms. My feeling has been for a long time that audiences are extremely smart, and executives have started to believe that, and the executives have started to believe that they're not. Audiences will always be able to sniff out BS. Even if films start to be made with AI, humans aren't going to effing want to see those. Whew. Following its release, Madam Web was a critically acclaimed box office failure. The movie earned just $91.3 million at the box office against its $80 million budget. The film also was widely panned on social media, with star Sydney Sweeney even cracking jokes about the movie during her recent Saturday Night Live monologue. Now, me and DQ, I think, are the only two human beings on this planet that actually did not hate this movie. And I can tell you why I didn't hate it. Because I like origin stories. I only saw Madam Web in the animated Spider-Man series where she came and helped with the different Spider-Man and led into Secret Wars. But I really didn't know her origin. This gave me a little bit of her origin, which I didn't totally hate. Special effects I thought was really cool. Some of it was kind of lacking. The bad guy I really didn't like. I know people talk about how they did over voice dub because I guess he couldn't do his lines or whatever the case may be. But the main thing that I always do when I walk out of a movie, any movie I watch, I ask myself, did I just waste my $10? I didn't feel like I wasted. Was it the best movie? No. But the one silver lining that I truly see is that Sony, in spite of itself, has created two forks in the road that could potentially be dynamite if they let Kevin Feige or someone who has more knowledge about this do. First thing, they are setting up Secret Wars with Madam Web. That's the first thing. The second thing, they are developing the Sinister Six. You're going to see Craven here in the next few months. They already got, Morbius, who could directly tie to the Blade movie if they collaborate. You've already seen Vulture. You've already seen Rhino. You've already seen, we're going to see Rhino in Morbius. We've already seen Venom. So they are setting up, in spite of themselves, what could be a fantastic Sinister Six. And they already introduced the person that's going to play the Scorpion. So if they get somebody to know what they're doing, let's say hypothetically, they get a eye-opening aha moment and say, Russo brothers, how about come over here? If we're going to give you this amount of money and y'all put all this crap together. They already got the groundwork in place. They could do that. Will they do it? Probably not. But in the hypothetically, fingers crossed, rainbows side of the world, where I like to tend to live at sometime, they could do that. But that's just my optimism on that. But it's kind of sad when the star of a movie like that talks. She recognizes what it is. It was a failure for as profitability. But what do y'all guys think? Y'all think that Sony can see the light and make chicken salad out of chicken shit, or what?
I think can it be fixed? Sure. It's one of those things. They probably should have talked to Feige about this a long time ago. I know they have at least added parts of the MCU into it that makes it somewhat salvageable. But if you keep making these movies and keep according to people, messing them up, people aren't going to care anymore. If you put that on the MCU or if you give it to the MCU, they're probably going to think, well, it's already screwed up because look at this story over here. We'll see what happens with Kraven. That's going to be one of the big things. If they can't get Kraven right, or at least some sort of moderate, okay response from it. And I'm not talking about like necessarily ticket sales. I'm just talking about what people say about the movie in general. If they don't get that, I'm not sure if it's salvageable in this form. At that point, they might just look at it and say, you know what? Maybe we should just give this over to Marvel and let Marvel restart. But I mean, is it salvageable? Possibly. And that's a big possibly.
Okay. What do you think, guys?
I don't think it's salvageable. There's nobody that's there's no one that's gonna touch this storyline with Madam Web right now. They're gonna completely, if they do anything, it's gonna be a total reboot completely. Like after the backlash that these like you can tell Dakota Johnson, even in the role that she was playing, she wasn't in it. You can tell this article actually proved the point. Comments that I made on my show was that you can tell in the movie that she was not feeling it, like
going through the motions.
Yeah, she was just, it was like she said, it was an experience for her, and you can tell that in the movie. And not only that, you could tell a lot of that in this movie, that there was a lot of reshoots apparently, and what it was from the beginning is completely something different we got, which a lot of us, like including myself, I'm curious to see what the original storyline was, and what was reshot so many different ways. And from all these actors on set, apparently Sweeney, she was the only one that was actually invested in her role and actually did the research and actually read up on her and actually told the director to shoot this, me coming down from the ceiling, this is how my character is, she wanted to be true to her character, but everybody else was like Danny said, going through the motions. And the movie was bad. Like I don't hate it, but it was terrible. Like, you're telling me from a person that can see what's happening in the future and can see the future, couldn't see at the end that she was going to get, blinded. And it just didn't make any sense. And their interactions, their dialogue was off. But like I said, this is not going to be like, they're not going to come in and it's going to be if they touch this again, it's going to be a reboot in a whole different direction. And which they can do with Secret Wars, right? If they're going that direction, Secret Wars could be a new launch for, apparently now there's rumors that, that Tobey Maguire is going to be in the Secret Wars, and stuff like that. So Sony dropped the ball when they did No Way Home. There was the moment. There was a hype. Everybody wanted to see the OGs come back in their own universes to know what was going to happen right after No Way Home. And they messed that up with Morbius, and they messed it up again with Madam Web. And Kraven, is it going to do? I think it's going to do better than Madam Web, but I don't think it's going to be maybe break even if they're lucky.
Well, let's see here. Venom and Venom 2 came out. Then it was Morbius. Now this. And those, even what I've heard of Morbius, and I haven't seen it yet, just haven't had time. But
I saw it for a second time, and I find it better than Madam Web.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's saying. So they're on a downhill slope because I haven't seen the second Venom yet, but I heard it was like okay, but it wasn't as good as the first one. So now so we're on a downhill trend, and I've always said since they got done with the other two Spider-Man series, Amazing Spider-Man and the first one with Tobey Maguire, I always said that at that time they had a change at the top. That a lot of people who were working with Sony stopped working with Sony. Sony Studios went up for sale. They're not invested in this. They don't remember how to do good to decent
movies,
Spider-Man movies. So when it came to Spider-Man, they did the right move. Let's partner with Disney because Disney wants to use it. Let's partner with them. They should have just said, here is the Spider verse. We want your help. Now, I know, and I'm going to go back to kind of what I've said about DC here. I know people are going to say, but what about Into the Spider-Verse? Those movies have, for the most part, gotten a lot of good press, a lot of good people like those. But it's just like DC. People love the DC animated movies. They know how to do that. For some reason, though, as soon as they go to live action, which I'm not going to necessarily agree with this, they don't seem to do well in live action. So I think Sony should have just right up front said, here, this is what we want to do. Come with us, help us formulate this, integrate the MCU a little bit in here because we know what you're wanting to do, and we'll get there. And they didn't. I mean, that's the golden ticket. And I know you can say what you want about Disney and all that, but it was
enough people do that already.
I know, but it's what it is.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I can't from using if I'm using my head, I definitely agree with you. If I'm going with my heart, which
Right.
kind of sort of, because they can salvage this in a way. I think they can salvage this. Well, I don't think Dakota Johnson, any of those people will come back, so they probably have to do some recasting. But they already got. We already got Morbius in play. We already got Venom in play. You're gonna have Craven in play. You got Scorpion in play. Not Scorpion, but
Rhino.
Vulture in play. We got Rhino in play. We already got Dr. Octopus in play. We got Electro in play. Even got the Lizard in play. So they got all these people that they could cherry pick and get which 6 of these characters we already got established could make the Sinister Six. And if they do that and get Andrew Garfield in his 3rd movie and be like the Amazing Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six, whatever, and then do all that fantastic movie, then at the end bring in a cameo of Madam Web talking about either do this where she takes all the different Spider-Man, which we already seen that and is successful. She could take Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, she could take Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, she could take I can't think of the 3rd guy, Spider-Man, and then we can go see some more Spider-Man. Yeah, Tom Holland. Then they could do some other Spider-Man. They can go back and do Nicholas Hammond, this old Spider-Man. And I'm just saying as a cameo.
Yeah, of course.
They could do that and then create a buzz. And that would make us forget about this Madam Web that underperformed if they do that. If that's what I would do. I do Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 3 versus the Sinister Six. So whatever creative name you want to do it. Pick the best 6, run with that. Then once he defeat them at the end, have Madam, and then she could be number 2 and get even more powerful. Or she could have those 3 girls, one of those 3 girls come with her or something. And then they can also introduce the Beyonder. If they do that, they can salvage this mess. But will they do that or not? I don't know.
Well,
that's what I would do.
Here's your first problem with and I'm not saying it's a problem per se, but I'm going to suggest a little bit of an edit to what you just said. You said the Amazing Spider-Man. That's because you like Andrew Garfield better. If you want to do it,
the reason I'm saying that because the other 2 already had 3.
That's true.
Had 3.
That's
so
true.
I would give him a chance at.
I don't know though if doing it just with him would be the right way to go. Why not bring Toby and him in it and leave Holland out?
Only reason I say, because I think he's a darker of the 3. And I think it's going to take a darker Spider-Man to take on the Sinister Six. But then maybe in the end, when they be about to beat his butt, or then he calls Toby for help. That could be the 3rd act. I don't have a problem with that. I think Act 1 and Act 2 should be him going at doing his stuff. Then they just get overwhelming. The numbers get overwhelming. Then he does whatever he do. Call Toby in. Toby comes in, same way like they did, and kind of steal some of that nostalgia. When you saw the guy opening the thing and Toby comes to, crowd went crazy where I was at. When you saw Andrew Garfield, crowd went crazy. So they could kind of steal some of that magic. The 2 of them defeat each other, and then everything's unicorns and rainbows, and then Madam Web comes up, and she brings Tom Holland Spider-Man with her. guys, we got a problem. And boom, that's how it goes off. That would make me ready to go see Madam Web and the Beyonder, or whatever they want to call it, Madam Web, Into the Spider-Verse, whatever you want to name it. Secret Wars, whatever.
But you see, that's
They
one
can
that's
salvage
one thing that hurt these movies, that there was no Spider-Man. All these major characters that have to do with Spider-Man, and there was no Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Well,
well, you could use that to your advantage, though. You could kind of have little different sprinkles of it. 'Cause I think in Venom 2, didn't they? No, seemed like one of those
Well,
movies.
Venom 2 was the end scene.
The end scene kind of sprinkled Spider-Man.
Yeah, you saw Tom Holland Spider-Man.
So we got a little bit of that. So it's kind of like negligee. When I say that, you want to be kind of have some imagination, leave something to the imagination.
Yeah,
we want to get to the main prize, but we want to get teased a little bit.
exactly. If you at least would have got them at an end credit scene, right? We got that in Venom 2, but you didn't get anything in Morbius.
Yeah, we didn't get.
You didn't get
those, those are missed opportunities.
Completely dropped the ball on those two
Well,
movies.
I find it funny because you guys are talking about the lingerie, the don't show too much, leave a bit to imagination. You could have had Spider-Man in every one of these movies, and you know how you leave it to the imagination? You do the Easter egg thing. You have him in the background because what's going on in his city? Wait a minute, what is this? Who is this? Morbius? Who is this? And if you just little parts in between certain scenes, you just see this guy in the background swinging around, and you don't show it too much, and then at the end you have him come up, or you have him come up in one scene. That's it. I mean, it would work. I mean, from what I've read, supposedly they're supposed to be getting Holland in some of these movies. They were supposed to, because that was the agreement with doing Spider-Man with Marvel. They said we get to use Spider-Man because he's ours. And
yeah, I know what you're saying, DQ. That's another critique I have. Let a villain be a villain. Craven in his own movie.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying, but Sony doesn't have the latitude. They got these characters
deep
kind of
pockets
sitting on the shelf, and they don't have a deep pocket. So they got to say, "Here's $60 million. You ain't gonna make a Spider-Man movie with $60 million. Not gonna be, but you can maybe make a Madam Web with $60 million. I think it was $90 million. I think they said
it was 80.
Well, $80 million.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can't make a good Spider-Man $80 million. It just ain't gonna happen. But some of these lower tier characters you can make with that money, but they still, like you said, they got Tom Holland under contract. Okay, you're gonna do this. You're gonna shoot a web, do something, see Aunt May or see something like that. This is a missed opportunity. The only one that kind of capitalized on it was Venom 2. The rest of them missed opportunity. But I still think they could clean this up if they go back and be really meticulous about, okay, we got to make sure this dot connects to this dot connects to that dot, and so forth. They just can't throw something on the wall and see whether or not it's going to stick or not. And then that's where they get into trouble.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. Sir.
No, it's just what Tony said about, I thought Doctor Strange spell erased their memory of the multiverse. No, they just erased the memory of who that Spider-Man was, Peter Parker.
Yeah.
That was
in the MCU's universe.
Yeah. Oh, multiverse though.
Was it the multiverse?
People still know multiverse, but they didn't know Spider-Man.
That's the gray area.
Yeah.
Did it affect the multiverse, or did it affect his reality?
It's a good.
That's the gray area.
I think it only affect his universe.
Yeah.
Not the whole multiverse. That's my understanding.
That's a hell of a spell if it did.
Okay. Let's go to the next topic, and it is this one. Bob Iger. This came out just today. So let's talk about this. Disney quietly killed a few projects that weren't strong enough, says Bob Iger. Disney CEO Bob Iger says the studio has quietly killed a few projects. I wonder what those projects are that they didn't feel were strong enough. Per Deadline, Iger spoke at an investor conference on Tuesday, which is today, where he addressed the current state of Disney output and box office returns. We're doing a lot, Iger said. When we talk about improving our film slate, there are really three approaches. One is you have to kill things which you no longer believe in, and that's not easy in this business because either you've gotten started, you have some costs. It's a relationship with either your employers or your creative community. And it's not easy, and it's not an easy thing. But you got to make those tough calls. He added. We actually made these tough calls. We've not been that public about it. Bob Iger addresses Disney's recent box office returns. He says, regarding some of the studio's recent box office misfires, Iger said via the Hollywood Reporter, a lot of people think it's audience fatigue. It's not audience fatigue. They want great films, and if you build it great, they will come. And there are countless examples of that. Some are ours and some are others. Oppenheimer is a perfect example of that. Just a fantastic film. Focus is really important. We reduced the output of Marvel, both the number of films they make and the number of TV shows, and that really becomes critical. But I feel good about the team. I feel good that the IP we're making. I talked about a lot of the projects we look years ahead, really, and it's iterative. I don't know what that is. Not only do you look at the films you're making, you look at every part of the process, who the directors are, who's been cast, reading scripts. I personally watch films 3 to 5 times with the team and just create a culture of excellence and respect, which is really important with the creative community. And again, the track record speaks for itself. Going forward, Iger says the studio plans to spend a lot of time with the creators watching these films, giving detailed notes, engaging in respectful process that results in improvement. Now, if he is going to do this, I am all for that. I think DJ has said it once, he said it twice, that they need to back off from making all these movies kind of shove them down our throat. At first, I didn't necessarily agree with it, but now I think it's a good idea. But the reason why I think that we get so many movies because of COVID. We had COVID panic, we had COVID fatigue, COVID, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to name it. Well, I'm sorry, please don't get heat in that UT. We had the COOF fatigue. And we just, because we were stuck, we're not able to go, and it was just kind of shove stuff down our throat to keep it relevant. Now that the COOF has seemed to dissipate it some, not totally gone away, now we can kind of breathe a little bit more easier. We can kind of move a little bit more than we were when we were in certain restrictions. I think 2 MCU movies a year is good. I think that if they do the shows, and I say this on Sunday's show and Rob's show, that I don't mind the shows being B characters, somebody we don't know nothing about, because that's going to keep us entertained. That's going to keep our appetites wet. Echo, I didn't mind Echo. Some of the B, C, D, E, F tier characters that they create, I don't mind if they do that on the show. Don't waste that money on a crapshoot on the big screen and it's a flop. Put on the big screen the shows that you pretty much know are going to be hits. Mm-hmm. Put more of your time and energy and resources in that. Disney Plus can be the stuff, the testing ground of it. If it tests good on there, let's just say if we get an 80% approval rate, then we look at maybe transitioning that particular character into the big screen or do something bit, throw more money into it next time around. But like these BC, like Moon Knight, Hawkeye, I guess, kind of in there. Echo, I don't mind seeing that because that keeps.
Hawkeye was a good one because it introduced.
Yeah, that keeps the IP kind of relevant in your mind and fresh in your mind. But I don't think it's comic book movie fatigue. I don't think it's that. I kind of agree with Iger says. It's I don't think it's audience fatigue. I think it's bad movie fatigue. They just rushing everything, rushing the product instead of letting it kind of mature and maturate and just kind of throwing it out there. If they take more time, like they did the first, second, and third, oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? The first, what do you call it when Iron Man was first and then the movies?
Trilogies?
No, you're talking about the phases.
First phases, yeah. If they do that, if they go back and show the detail they did the first 3 phases, and do that every time, then I think they'll be hitting home runs. I think they kind of got the big head. Oh, we're Marvel, we're MCU, whatever we make, and nope.
It's like they lost direction, right? Because at one point, like they were saying that Kang wasn't the direction they were going in, but then with Jonathan Majors, popularity, they decided to go that route.
Yeah.
So I think they were a little bit lost in what direction they were going to go to from that point on. So, yeah, it's always good to have a good plan.
Can I get a drum roll, Chris? You give me a drum roll. And now, straight from the state of Florida, it is the man who went from 0 subscribers to 1 million in about 3 days. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. LDG.
Oh,
Wow.
dude.
Wow, you even got me pumped for that intro. Thank you. I'm like, who is he talking about?
What's up, LDG? It's good to see you, man.
Hey, guys. How's it going, guys? Wow, it's been a minute.
Yep.
Yes.
Good. A minute. Good things come to those who wait.
Right?
That's true.
Appreciate the invite.
No problem.
Appreciate the invite. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Sorry I'm late.
You're good, bro. We were just talking about Bob Iger in the recent interview that he had today. He was talking about how they're going to kind of slow down on all this mass production of MCU movies, and that they have been silently and secretly killing projects that they don't have faith in, which I think is a good idea. We hadn't gone around the panel yet. I think if they slow down and kind of go back to the process that they made the first phase, the second, third phase, that they will be more successful than they are now. I think they kind of got full of themselves, like, oh, MCU. And I say to myself, there's a time when you just hear that automatically $500 million. Automatically. Now, not so much. It got to be popular or it got to be good, because some of these movies are getting shut down like, boom. So I think, and I personally think, and I'm going to let y'all talk, I know I'm kind of talking a lot, but I think the Disney Plus platform should be where we try all these things. Let's try Moonlight. Let's try Echo. Let's try Daredevil. Let's try whatever B, C, D, E character. What's the Hispanic guy you was talking about one time, Gascar? Tarantula, whatever his name was.
La Tarantula, yeah.
Yeah. Try him. I don't care.
Makes more sense than Muerto.
Whatever. Morto, whatever. It could be Inkblot Man. I don't care. Put him on Disney Plus. Then if he get a certain amount of approval rate, 80 plus, then we can look at trying maybe pull him up to the big leagues. It's kind of like minor league, just like baseball. It tests you out in the minor leagues, and if you look good, they pull you up to the show. That's what they should do. Disney Plus is the minor leagues. Big screen is the major leagues. That's the route I think they should take. Anybody who wants to go next.
I don't disagree with you. I think, the B characters and all that should be in TV, the shows, which they've done for the most part. I think that, again, I go back to what we said before all this stuff happened, when we were looking at this, saying, well, they had to push this movie. This. I mean, at one time there was like 7 or 8 Marvel movies that were waiting to get released, and they had to get them out there. Now, I don't know. I mean, I think we all talked about it. Was it necessary to go boom, 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 like every 3 months or so? I don't know if that was really necessary. And if they didn't do that, and they had focused a little longer on these movies to really fine tune them, they would still have those movies. And things would, they would have a little more time to formulate this stuff. But yeah, I mean, I have no problems with trying characters out in TV shows, and even things like Moon Knight or something. I don't ever see a Moon Knight movie coming out, but can he show up in some of these movies? Sure. I think that's why you do this. But I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, people, again, say what you want about Disney. I know, people hate them and all that and stuff. I still don't think that they're panicking. I think they're just trying to do what everybody else is doing right now. There are very few movies right now that are hitting over 500 million right now. And every once in a while, you get Barbie, you get Oppenheimer, and even that I kind of think was because they did something they don't do much anymore, which is a double bill. They put those movies together on a ticket. You went and you saw both movies. that's kind of what the gimmick was with that, and that's kind of why that worked. But you don't get a lot of billion-dollar movies right now. You will get some. So I'm not sure for this, the fatigue that people think it is. I do think it has to do with a little bit of a watered down product, or they were rushing things. They weren't really focusing at what they were doing. And I think, slowing down and just saying, okay, let's just wait a second here. Let's go back, watch what we've done. And that's actually what I'm in the middle of, is going back and watching the new phases and trying to see exactly how well does it connect together. And I think that's what they need to be doing, is have a few people go back and watch it and say, okay, we have this here. This does connect here, here, and here. But we need to really focus in on that, because that was what the first 3 phases did. When there was a connection, they kept reinforcing that connection. When you saw Thanos at the end of the movie, you knew he was there, but they made sure to remind you again that he was there and that that's who this person was going to be. It's kind of difficult right now with Kang and the whole Jonathan Major thing going on until they figure that out. But they still can do it. They just need to go back and look at what they've done right now and say, how do we reinforce what we've already done going forward?
I agree. The other thing they need to do too, I see Dan Line said about the WandaVision. One thing about WandaVision that I really love is that WandaVision set up Multiverse of Madness. If they're going to do a big movie, then whatever show they put on Disney Plus should be setting that up and prepping it. So let's just say if they're doing Captain America, like maybe they should do maybe a season 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier to set up the Captain America New World Order. I'll do something like that, but I'll make sure that storyline in season 2 of it would set up the movie, or it would have an ending like, oh, what's going to happen? Then maybe put something like on a crawl. Check out in 2 months. The new Captain America or whatever, what happens to Bucky and Sam, something like that.
Like they did at the end credits, right? It says, oh, Captain America, whatever is gonna you'll see them again and whatever. Will return in this.
Yep. So if they do that, then I think they'll be more successful. You got to use the tools you got. They're not utilizing the tools. They're working harder, not smarter.
Yeah. Just to piggyback off what Chris said before about it's superhero fatigue. It's not necessarily fatigue. It's not necessarily good movies, bad movies. It's people are not showing up to the theaters like they did before. They're just not going. They're waiting for it to come on streaming, or they're doing it by other means. That's the reality of it. So the only reason movies end up doing well is when people hear, certain YouTube's, influencers say, "Oh, this is a great movie." Then you'll see rushes and numbers go up in theater.
You know what else too, Gascar? I'm glad you say that.
Yeah.
Do you want to spend this? Take your family out $100 on your family, or you want to spend $100 on your grocery or your gas bill or whatever?
Especially now, with inflation,
it's crazy,
insane.
Yesterday, I went to a watch store. All I got was a battery for my watch and a new band because the old band broke. It was $42. I was like, for a band and a battery? But what you gonna do? It's crazy. So, yep.
And thanks, Denny Lyon. I'm just finishing taking my PTSD pills. Thank you for bringing up WandaVision.
They never let it rest. LDG. They never let it rest.
Feels like nothing's changed. The more things change, the more things stay the same. It's like minutes I'm on, and then we're already talking about WandaVision. Dear God.
Yeah.
It was epic.
WandaVision did, for all intents and purposes, it did set up Multiverse of Madness. That's what I was talking. I wasn't trying to bring it up to make you relive, see you into a panic attack. But it did its job by setting up Multiverse of Madness. That's the main thing. These Disney Plus shows need to set up the big movies. Then I think they'd be more successful. Is my main point.
I would do it. I wouldn't. I would have always done it like that. You should always start. Every great story, every great literature should follow an evolution from print to TV shows to movies. You just don't jump and just give something a movie, and I think that's a huge problem. I mean, it would have been a whole different story if, like say, like, you know, I mean, like Deadpool is a great example. I wish Deadpool had a TV show before he came out on movie. You know, Daredevil. I mean, all these shows. Venom would have been a great freaking show. And then after it matures, after they're getting into their flux and they're building up a following and everything, that's when you give them a movie. You know, and push it more. You just don't. These movies are coming out with now just out of thin air. They're just like, oh, I don't know the people. They just picked whoever. You know, that there's nothing for me to invest in, and it's.
Well, it's a double-edged sword, and I'll explain. Nobody really knew nothing about Captain Marvel, not the casual viewer, but then they had to kind of sandwich her in between Infinity War and Endgame because she played such an intricate part in Endgame. So we gotta go ahead and put this in. So I think if they would have done Madam Web right, they would have done Morbius right, and I hope they do Kraven, Lord, please let them do Kraven right. Then if they had done those right, then that would have been a perfect introduction into the Sinister Six. That people would go in there and be like, oh, who is this? We already know who it is. So I think it's kind of like a door that swings both ways. One way is good. If it comes back the other way, it may be bad, like a pendulum, I guess. But we're seeing the bad swing of the pendulum instead of the good swing of the pendulum. Is my opinion.
I think where their problem is they didn't put Mephisto in when LDG.
We're trying not to traumatize LDG.
They should have put him in when it's.
We all know WandaVision would have been a million times better if all my theories were correct. Okay, we would still be watching it today. If half my theories were correct, that show would have been a million times better.
If like two of them were correct, I mean, it probably would have been.
I made thumbnails. I drew schematics. I had freaking frame-to-frame references. I mean, I had it all. Okay, I put more work into WandaVision than the people who created it.
You should have left those up.
They should have hired you, bro, because some of the stuff like, man, how did LDG figure that out? What?
That made sense. It made absolute sense.
I was like, dog, boy, he in this thing, he is deep down a rabbit hole. Not even GPS could find him.
Right up until the point where she was like, let's watch some reruns. I was on board up until that moment, and I'm like, oh shit, reruns. We're gonna watch all the first episodes and see what really happened. Instead, we got that horrible freaking missile crap, history shit, garbage ending that basically told us everything you saw up until now was meaningless, and that's really pissing me off. I mean, they're doing that a lot. They're making us watch stuff. They're making us watch stuff. We're putting money into it. We're you know, and then at the end they pull the everything you've seen up until now is meaningless. You know, the whole point of being in a story
is that bad for them because they good at money.
They trolled. Okay, WandaVision was only successful because they trolled us left and right. They made us think one thing, and then they swept the rug out from under us. Like a story is supposed to, plot is supposed to be, you know, for the most part, we're supposed to be able to, as an audience, like be put into a maze and find our way out of it. But in WandaVision, they put you in a maze, shake the damn cage all the way up until level 9, episode 9, and then they just teleport you to the ending.
Hey, they did the same thing with Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion, to me, was the best Disney Plus show until episode 8, I think it was. The last episode, I was like, what? They did not.
Which ruined the show for many people.
Yep. Because up to then, it was fire. But that last episode, and then we don't know what's going to happen to her because she got every power. She got every superhero power on the planet. So I don't know how they would even deal with her. So
all that.
And since WandaVision, since WandaVision, the last time I got an unwanted boner was in like high school.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, the world's unwanted boner. Nobody liked that shit. That was garbage. What they did.
Oh my gosh.
Ralph Boner. Freaking kidding me. And then they even spelled it like they were mocking us, right? Like, oh, yeah, we got you.
All right. Well, I don't want you to get too caught up in that, so we're gonna go ahead and jump to the next story.
I need my blood medicine now too. Damn. Go ahead.
Okay, the next story is about Miss Marvel. I think her real name is Iman Vellani.
Milani.
Vellani. And she said, I have been assured. So she's been assured of her MCU future.
Oh, yeah.
This came out today also. The overall state of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is mostly unknown in terms of what the future holds, but Iman Vellani believes her place in it is secure. Speaking of Polygon, ahead of the 2024 Crunchyroll Anime Awards, Vellani was asked about her role in the MCU as Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. Vellani said that she's been told things are fine on her end, but admits she hasn't been told much beyond that. I have been assured, Vellani says, so that feels good, but there is no more reassurances than that. They give me breadcrumbs, and I try to make a meal of it. Vellani first appeared in the MCU as Kamala Khan in 2022's Ms. Marvel, and also appeared alongside Brie Larson and Teyonah Parris in 2023's The Marvels, a sequel to Captain Marvel. Fans have been receptive to Vellani's turn as Khan, especially during her being an outspoken fan of the world of Marvel as a whole. While it's unknown what the future holds for Vellani's place in the MCU, one of the next films she could potentially appear in is 2026 Avengers 5. Fans have been speculated that she could appear in 2027's Avengers Secret Wars, as well as any potential Disney Plus series. A second season for Ms. Marvel has not been confirmed at this time. I definitely think that she is a breath of fresh air.
Yep.
They had better not release her or get stupid and think of other crazy stuff, because it is going to be a big mistake. I would definitely go with the break coming put there, her being maybe the leader of the Young Avengers. I think that's excellent. To me, I would love to see the third member be a young T'Challa. Go to Wakanda, get young T'Challa, who should be a teenager by the time that happens, and boom, you can see him transform into King T'Challa. Challenge M'Baku for the crown, kingdom. There you go. Instant Black Panther
movie already.
I'm just telling you. People talk about recast T'Challa. In my mind, they did it. He's gonna wait till you grow up. But anyway, I definitely think she should definitely be a part of it. Secret Wars, I don't know, because I really didn't read the Ms. Marvel comic books. I don't really know much about her, but I do know that in this Marvel's movie, she stole the show.
Absolutely,
so they definitely need to keep her. She is an asset. She is not a negative in any form or fashion, in my opinion.
It goes back to how she portrayed the role, even in her series, right? She was known. She's a geek. She's follow that character. She's read every single book, and it shows in her dedication to it. And like you said, she definitely stole every freaking scene that she was in that Marvel's movie. And she's now the one writing the actual comic book. So yeah, definitely. I hope they don't throw her aside, but right now she's, from all those Marvel characters, she's the one that stole the show and the one that has the hot hand right now going forward. So definitely, give her a great story where she'll shine, because acting wise, it was her first movie. Yep. That was her first movie that she did, and she did a great job.
She was natural. Yeah. She didn't like she was acting like she just having fun. Hey, I'm glad to be here.
And she admitted it. That's what, for her, it's fun. She's, like she says multiple times, and not only that, it's the interviews that they were trying to poke her about, women's rights and stuff like that, and trying to throw in those reporters that were trying to get her to speak about agendas and stuff, and she completely brushed it off and stuck with what the movie's about, her character's about, and none of that bullshit. So she really won the fans by doing that. So good for her.
Kudos for her.
Yeah.
Chris, LDG, any?
I don't think that she needs to go anywhere. Miss Marvel wasn't like horrible. It had places it needed some fixing, but that isn't necessarily her fault. Again, she's an actress. As long as she does her part, and she did, that's all you can ask her to do. She's not directing it. She's not the producer. She's not the the effects guy. So you can't blame her for the stuff around her going on. I mean, I'm sure we've all seen really horrible movies that had really good performances in them. I mean, you can't do anything about that. Yeah, I mean, she's doing good. On the screen, it looked. I watched the Marvels. I didn't hate the Marvels. I know a lot of people did. I didn't hate, Captain Marvel, the first one. It just, but this one I thought was really interesting. Of all the recent MCU movies, it was probably one of the better ones. So, yeah, and Geisler, like you said, in interviews and stuff, she's saying the right things. That says a lot about somebody her age. I mean, just how old is she? Like 18, 19 max?
Oh, that's a good
20.
question. 20 about?
Yeah, somewhere around that. That's young. I mean, and so saying the things she says and composing herself the way she does, I think she's an asset to the MCU and to these movies. So definitely you want to keep her around.
She's 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have much to say about that particular topic.
Come on now.
You hear the disdain in that voice. Gore and Love and Thunder was example. Bill did the best he could.
Bill was great.
Mm-hmm.
I like Bill in that movie.
Yeah, he was cool. I like Natalie Portman in there too. I thought she's a better Thor than Thor was. They just made Thor.
Yeah, they castrated that Thor.
I'm joking. Oh my Lord. Yeah, some funny parts in it, but you don't really see Thor as being funny all the time. I mean, it's crazy.
They definitely need to rethink that.
Yeah, he need to be more serious. This Three Stooges Thor is not a good look.
Well, that's what they say, that it's supposed to be darker. His next movie is supposed to be darker. So,
all right, we're gonna get into this last topic, and this is Grace Randolph. She did a video a couple of days ago, and I watched.
I still haven't seen it.
She's not a fan of Grace Randolph, but she said her 20. She made a list of 20 characters that may be the new 6 Avengers. She went from the least likely to the most likely. I'm not going through 20. That take too long. But I'm doing Grace Randolph. I'm going to show you the 6 that she said, in her opinion, would be most likely to be in the new 6 core Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther, Shuri. Yes, both Black Panther movies did so well. Even the second one with Shuri in the lead. I think that's important to remember. Not only did those films do well at the box office, but the character has a very long track record in the comics of being on the Avengers. So I find it very unlikely that Black Panther wouldn't be a part of a new team. But as for it being Shuri, I personally love the idea. I love Shuri as the new Black Panther, and her taking on the mantle is backed up by the comics. But some of you might counter that, speaking of the comics, Shuri's Black Panther has never been on the Avengers. It's always been T'Challa's version of the character. However, as a tech genius who is AI if he comes back, and I'm excited to see it. Number 5, She-Hulk. Some of you might feel these, I'm getting a little controversial here, but I love these characters. I think they're great and great female characters, and just both so powerful and funny. I love them. All right, now I know a lot of people like to hate on the Disney Plus She-Hulk show, Galaxy Volume 3, that Star-Lord will return. Where else is he going to return besides the Avengers? Sure, they might have meant Secret Wars, and I think to some degree they probably do mean Secret Wars, but Peter Quill would be a great addition to the Avengers officially, as a team. All right, number 3, Captain America, Sam Wilson. One of the safest bets to be on this new team, even if his upcoming movie does bomb, because you can't have an Avengers team without Captain America. He's got to be on the team. He's got to be leading the team. And I think Sam has proven without a doubt, particularly on his Disney Plus show, that he'd be an effective. It's beautiful. The only question is who's number 2 and who's number 1, right? All right, so number 2, I think it's Wolverine. Will it be Hugh Jackman as Wolverine or someone else? That's, I think, the remaining question mark. There are already rumors, Cleaves, number 1, that's right, you guessed it. I mean, he's the only one left. He's the last one standing. Number 1, Spider-Man. I think he will definitely be an Avenger. And yeah, Tom Holland already appeared in Civil War and Infinity War, quite memorably, in fact.
So, do you agree with her, or do you think that is a bunch of caca? I don't see 2 females being on the Avengers. I mean, it could happen. I don't have a problem with it.
Even though
She-Hulk should be one of them. I would say Wanda.
But you got to find a way to bring her back before.
She's too powerful not to find a way to. They get a different multiverse or something.
Well, but it's either her or
Captain Marvel.
Black Widow's sister.
She's
Yolanda.
Yolanda. But she's going to be on the Thunder. What is it? The Thunderbirds?
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. That's it. Yeah. Thunderbolts. But that doesn't mean she can't be on both.
She made the top 20. I think maybe even the top 15. But number 8 was we saw 6 through 1. I believe number 7 was Wanda. I can't think it was 8, 9, and 10. But
I just don't see She-Hulk being that high. I don't know. I mean, I rarely agree with Grace, but
I don't see Wonder Woman
either. But
Tim Christ said, "Damn it, Danny! I thought you two deleted your channel off my subscribe list. Didn't know you were changed your channel." Yes, sir. And
what's going on, Tim? Good to see you.
I am the road to wisdom.
Tucker, how you doing? But yeah, I don't see She-Hulk on there. Captain America, of course. Sam, Spider-Man for sure. The Wolverine one kind of surprised me too. Until we see how they're, until they see how they bring him in. No, he never was, and
he wasn't.
I don't think he was. Was he? I mean, he might have had a special.
Yeah,
I think he had a guest appearance with them. I don't think he was Wolverine ever an Avenger.
I know he was a Fantastic Four for a period of time.
Yeah.
I thought he was in the. Wasn't he a new Avenger?
Alpha Flight, Fantastic Four, and the Avengers. Yes, he was on it at one point.
That's so.
But it's still until they figure out a way to get that character more involved. Because again, we don't know. I seriously doubt Hugh Jackman's going to be in this for more than this one movie. And if he is,
well, he's come out and said that he would appear in Secret War only if Tobey Maguire is there and Robert Downey Jr.
Not and he said and or I've heard that, and I don't know. He might be, but I don't think he'll be an Avenger. And again, you gotta set up the X-Men before you can get him in, because Hugh Jackman is not the answer to anything with the X-Men anymore. This is good or bad. It's going to be fan service that he's in this movie.
Oh, this is right now is because of the hype that we wanted to see them together.
Yeah, exactly.
The Fox universe and
so that's why they're doing it, which is fine. But it's I don't know. Of that right there, I
don't know why people who I think are highly intelligent saying this dumb stuff about Howard the Duck should be an Avenger.
He should.
If Howard the Duck becomes an Avenger, I will boycott MCU for 2 years. I'm already boycotting them now. I'm not going to see MCU movie in the theaters till next year.
I love Howard the Duck the way they're using him right now, just in quick little scenes here and there. I think it's funny.
And what if that's as far as you need to go?
They could give him his own Disney Plus series.
No, I don't even want to see that.
You don't have to see it.
I'd rather see
Blank Man.
I'd rather see Blank Man.
Oh my gosh, where's Hanzo when you need him? Oh man.
Just Howard the Duck and Blank Man. Give me Blank Man.
Oh.
But what do you think about that list, LDG? Oh, I guess you don't hear.
I'm sorry, but the new Avengers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I think it's time to get back to X-Men. To be honest, I'm kind of Avengered out, or at least I don't know. I just Avengers was really never my gig, and then
Somebody made a
Endgame killed it for me. I
somebody
mean,
made a story about the Avenger movies make the highest, I think, the most money in that. Whenever they kind of lose their way, they go back to the Avengers, and the Avengers kind of pull them back into reality, so to speak. So they definitely need an Avengers movie, I think. And I think enough time has passed. Endgame, that's been what, 3 years now?
I'm still waiting for a good Fantastic Four.
Keep
Yeah.
waiting.
I mean,
They're going to try
Louise.
again.
Keep waiting. Hopefully they Pedro Pascal. Richard
We'll see.
Reed
Or
Ricardo.
even an X-Force. Give
Ricardo
us some
Reed.
X-Force. Give us something new.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Ricardo
Anything.
We
Reed.
kind of saw that a
Yeah.
little bit with Deadpool 2, but I don't think it really took.
One of my favorite characters was Havoc, for God's sakes. Oh, God.
Yeah, maybe they'll do it right this time.
But X-Men, I always had a liking for Forge. I don't know why I was.
Forge was awesome.
Forge, yeah.
Forge was awesome. My favorite X-Men besides Wolverine would be
It's Gambit.
Psylocke. I love Psylocke.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Psylocke was, absolutely.
Yeah. Especially how Jim Lee
Absolutely.
drew her. Oh my god.
Yep.
She's more sexier
Oh,
in
yeah.
the comic books than she was in the movie.
She
Yeah,
wasn't bad
I'd
in
take
that
her
movie,
over
though.
Wanda any day.
She wasn't bad in the movie. At least her suit looked pretty comic book accurate.
Whose was it? Who?
Psylocke.
Psylocke.
Oh, no.
Psylocke.
She got the mental thing that can disrupt your mind. The mental dagger. A psychotic. What do you call it? The psychonet, not psychonet, but some kind of crazy psychotic dagger.
What's it called? No, I don't remember.
A psychological dagger or something like that. It's called.
Mhm.
And I think she's a world class ninja, if I'm not mistaken. So
Mhm.
Also,
Yeah.
Captain Britain's sister.
we saw the 6 things that Grace Randolph did. I don't agree with Wolverine being in there. I don't think they're gonna make that jump from X-Men to Avengers. I could be wrong. I don't think She-Hulk's gonna make the cut. I don't really have a problem with Shuri.
No. I think she'll be there. I think Shuri will be there.
Shuri kind of take an Iron Man mantle as far as the intelligence and gadgets and that kind of stuff.
Well, there is that rumor that everybody still's talking about Robert Downey Jr. coming back. And again, I go back to I don't think so. I think it'll be sure. I think it's going to be if we get anything like that, it's going to be Shuri working with Ironheart. What's her name? That was in Black Panther movie. Yeah, thank you. And that's going to be the new Iron Man. But I wonder if they're not going to give Tony Stark, like I said, that AI voice or something like that.
He's definitely going to be AI. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well,
he's gonna be
well, that's the thing. Everybody's talking about he's coming back. He's coming back. I said I think that's the only way that he comes back is a voice or
I read
quick
an article.
videos.
What's his name? Rhodey? What's his suit?
Mhm.
War Machine going to be starring in Armor Wars.
Armor Wars.
And
Rhodey will probably be in the Avengers.
He made a top 10, but he didn't make the top 6. But
that's the thing, right? Armor Wars was supposed to be a series.
Yeah.
But because Robert Downey Jr.'s AI is in that movie, in that show, they bumped it to a movie. Just because of that.
Maybe somebody had his contract. Never could tell. Never could tell with that.
Yep. So you're going to use me? It has to be a flick.
Yep. Tim Christ said is the psychokinetic dagger could do physical damage as well as psychic damage. I never
Psychokinetic. Yes, that's the word.
don't know what she's smoking, but not the best choices. I agree. I don't agree
Yeah.
with a couple of her choices. Riri Williams as Ironheart. I want a fan of Ironheart in this movie, but maybe she'll improve her armor and get more gadgets and kind of stuff like Iron Man did. Be cool to see if she can improve the armor like he did. Each armor was a little bit better than the last one. So I wouldn't mind seeing that progression. Well, before we've been on here an hour and 5 minutes, which is about the normal time we like to talk and get off. And before we got here, we're gonna let everybody on the panel go around and tell people they can find them and what's going on in their neck of the woods. And we're gonna start off with our special guest, Mr. LDG. What is going on with you, sir?
Yes, sir. Just some guy here doing his thing to try to see if I can do what Elon Musk didn't with $45 billion. You can check me out on LDG Free the Net. You can hang out with me live in person at freethenet.org/underground. It's basically just a nice hangout place. Come chill, come say hi, hang out, do whatever you want to do. And got some videos hopefully coming soon this week. Another video. And if anybody wants to know the secrets of the sauce of one of my recent success on YouTube, I'll be glad to let you know and show you what I did. Come hit me up. Appreciate you having me. And thank you, man. It's been a minute. Feels good to be back.
Yes, sir.
Just for a moment. Yep.
Great to see you.
I'm sure it'll be more invites. So just stay tuned.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Guy Scar, what's going on in your neck of the woods, sir?
Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Basco Scenario, the Hangout. Hopefully all goes well. Work has been on my ass. So yeah. That's where you can find me. Thanks for having me, Danny.
Not a problem. Mr. Knight, what's going on in your neck of the woods, sir?
Well, we did the weekly wrap up for the first time in like months, and I'm going to be back to doing Unmasking the Masked Singer. I'll probably have a video up tomorrow. Not going to be as much production behind it right now, but hey, you know what? I'll get it up. And of course, we got these shows. And yeah, so that's about it right now. But like I said in a thing on the community page on The Real Review 3000, we will be getting back to Name That Tune here before too long. And the Rumble and the Gospel According to Chris, we will get back to it. So just hold on to that thought. But thank you, Danny, for having me as always. Appreciate it.
No problem. And I am your host, Danny Graham. You can find me on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 a.m. on my channel called The Road to Wisdom, where I try to impart a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of spirituality, a little bit of just my 53 years of experience and what I've seen, what I've read. And I hope that it resonates with those individuals that take the time to watch it. Also, on Monday nights, you can find me here on Khaos Central on one of the 3 shows that we have. Khaos Central, which is this show. Khaotic Conversation, which is this show. Anzo shows the Khaos List. Chris shows the Rule of 3. And we try to do them on the 3 Mondays, first 3 Mondays of the month. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You can catch me tomorrow night on Guy Scar's channel, the Hangout. Me, him, DJ, G Major. Sometimes it's other individuals, Alternator. Sometimes it's God, I'm drawing a blank now.
Jason
Tucker on Tuckerverse. But come check us out. It's always a good time. Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank God that Robert has moved it from 10 to 7. You can see us on Storms Live. Me, Guy Scar, DJ, Adam, Robert. Have a very good time on there. And then sometimes when Anzo's show isn't too radioactive, you can catch me on Off Our Chest, which usually comes on about 8:30, 9 o'clock on his channel, which is Biggaford Entertainment. I definitely thank all of you to join us tonight. Tim Christ, definitely glad you were able to find me again. Tuckerverse, Danny Land, as always, he comes on here. Tony Robinson comes in here, and DQ always supports us. We had a total of 11 viewers at one time, so that is awesome.
That's great.
want to make sure I don't miss anybody.
Make sure to watch the next episode of Shogun that dropped today.
Yep. Parrothead. Yeah. And yeah, I'm glad you said that, Gascar, because this superhero fatigue is, I don't believe it. Because if you watch the Avatar, that is fantastic. Those 8 episodes was fantastic. It's a superhero. So definitely go check it out. It is worth the watch. It is worth the watch. Having said that, thank you all for coming by. We definitely appreciate it. Trying to find the outro where it is. I think I'm gonna play
folks.
One of my old ones. So
Adios.
until then, take it easy. Peace.
I am inevitable.
I am your puppy.
I miss doing these.
Damn, you could do mine if you miss it so much.
Okay, Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Khaotic Conversation. And here we go. The beat's banging, so the verse gotta bang too. You ain't feeling it, man. I don't know what to say to you. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep flowing. And my channel, yeah, it's gonna keep growing. Comment chat is who I am. You be like, yo, that's Danny? Damn, he kinda nice. This shit is hot. It's Monday night. It's 9 o'clock. The show Khaotic Conversation is the best damn show on YouTube Nation. So sit back, enjoy the show, and like the Joker says, and here we go. Khaotic Conversation. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't you